It is 3 in the morning and you are awake and you cannot move, not stiff, not stuck. Gone, the order leaves and nothing receives it. Your eyes work, your lungs work badly in short, shallow pulls. There is weight on your chest, and there is someone in the room standing just past the foot of the bed watching you. You have never met this person. You know exactly what they look like. So does everyone else this has ever happened to. That is the strange part, and that is the part worth explaining. Every night, about 90 minutes after you fall asleep, you enter REM. Your brain becomes almost as active as it is right now. It builds a world, it puts you inside it, and you believe every bit of it, which is a problem because you have a body attached. So the brainstem does something drastic. It switches the body off. Neurons in the medulla flood your motor neurons with glycine. The order to move still leaves the brain. It simply dies at the spinal cord. This is called REM atonia, and it is the only reason you do not stand up and run through your own dreams. Sleep paralysis is that switch running late. The cortex comes back online. The atonia does not release. For somewhere between a few seconds and 2 minutes, you are a conscious mind inside a body that is still asleep. And your threat detection system is already running hot because REM is when it runs hottest. It has no eyes to check with, no body to test with, and a host who is terrified. So it does the one thing it is built to do. It proposes a cause. The weight on your chest is your own diaphragm doing shallow REM breathing against slack airway muscles. The presence in the room is your brain's best guess at what is doing that to you. It guesses a person. It almost always guesses a person. And here is what makes this more than a neurology lecture. That guess has come out the same way for as long as anybody has written anything down. The Greeks called it ephialtes, the one who leaps upon you. Galen was writing about it in the 2nd century, and he was already arguing it was digestion, not demons. Old English had a word for the thing that sat on you. Mare, put a night in front of it, and you have the word you still use, nightmare. It never meant a bad dream. It meant a specific creature, and the creature's job was to sit on your chest. In 1664, a Dutch physician named Isbrand van Diemerbroek wrote up a 50-year-old woman who woke unable to move, certain the devil was lying on top of her. He called it incubus. It is the first proper clinical description we have. In 1692, in Salem, accusers testified that a shape had come at night and pressed them into the bed so they could not move and could not cry out. In 1781, Henry Fuseli painted a woman thrown back across a bed with a squat demon sitting on her sternum. That painting made him famous. Newfoundland calls it the old hag. Japan calls it kanashibari, bound in metal. Brazil calls it the pisadera, the woman who steps on you. Nigeria calls it agun oru. Go back further and it does not stop. Babylonian and Assyrian texts name night demons, Lilu and Lilitu, that come for sleepers in the dark. China has a phrase for it, gui yashen, ghost pressing on body. Persia has the backtack, which settles on the chest and takes the voice first. 4 continents, no contact between them, one posture. The clinical name is barely a century old. Sleep paralysis was coined in 1928 by a British neurologist named Samuel Wilson. The experience is older than the term, older than the writing, and older than us. In 1982, an anthropologist called David Hufford went to Newfoundland to prove the old hag was folklore, teaching people what to see. He found the opposite. He found people who had never heard the story describing the story. And in the second half of the 20th century, the same experience began arriving in a new costume. Paralysis, a presence at the foot of the bed, lights, beings who had come for you. The costume changes every few centuries. The script does not. So how far back does this go? Further than the stories, very much further. Cave art is no help here. Nobody paints the thing they cannot move away from, but the machinery keeps a better record than paint does. REM atonia is not a human invention. It is in every mammal anyone has checked, and it is in birds. That puts the switch itself somewhere past 100 million years old. It was already running when the first modern humans were sleeping on open ground in Africa, which means the fault is that old as well. A switch that can run late has always been able to run late, and the honest version of this is not comforting. Waking paralyzed in the dark on the ground beside a fire with things in the grass that ate people, that was not a nightmare. That was a reasonable use of a threat detector. A false alarm costs you one terrible night. A missed alarm costs you everything. Evolution is not trying to make you comfortable. It is trying to make you present at breakfast. So it wired the alarm loud, and it wired it to fire on nothing, and it has never once been recalled. About 8% of people get this at least once. Among students and shift workers, it runs closer to a third. It has never killed anybody. It ends on its own. It is more common if you sleep on your back and rarer if you keep a boring, regular schedule. So, 3 in the morning and the shape at the foot of the bed. It is not a demon. It is not a visitor. It is not the old hag. It is a 100-million-year-old safety catch releasing about 90 seconds late and a very frightened brain filling the gap with the only thing it has ever thought to put there, which is no comfort at all at 3 in the morning. but it is free and it is over by breakfast.